Hello, and welcome to our channel, where we explore the world of Odoo. This is the second part of a video series where we create an AI chat application that features dynamic configuration. Continuing from our previous discussion, let's dive into how this app works. From a high-level view, the app has two main parts, the front end and the back end. On the front end side, everything relies on the node-based user interface to allow users to dynamically configure the chat. In this case, nodes represent components that make up the chat, while connections between nodes represent relationships between these components. We call these connections edges. On the backend side, nodes and edges are translated into actual chat components and their properties. That's basically it. We simply create what our users want. However, for this experiment, we won't expose all the properties of the actual chat components for two reasons: to simplify things and not complicate them. We also want to show that there are decisions to be made when creating nodes, such as which component and what properties to expose to the user. Now, let's discuss how we'll implement this app. At its core, the application is a collection of conventions and rules that connect the front-end and back-end sides. Here we need to decide whether to create another layer of abstraction for chat components or directly use an existing AI framework. To simplify things, we'll take the second option with some minor level of abstraction. We'll be using Semantic Kernel as our AI framework and mapping its agent framework components to our app. This means we'll have nodes specific to Semantic Kernel's agent framework, such as Chat Completion Agent, Group Chat, Chat Completion Services, plugins, etc. To represent these Semantic Kernel components, we introduce a concept called sections. A section is part of a node with its own ports and role. The role indicates the section's usage. It's similar to fields in a database table. For our use case, we use sections for two purposes: managing relationships between nodes and defining properties of nodes like their ID, name, prompt, etc. To differentiate nodes, we'll follow strict naming rules. OWL components are named with node suffix. For example, the OWL component for Chat Completion Agent will be named as Chat Completion Agent node. Model classes are named with model suffix, and for OWL components, the complete name must be used. For example, the model class for Chat Completion Agent node will be named as Chat Completion Agent node model. We introduce 6 groups of nodes, all following these naming rules. Agent suffix for agents, group suffix for group chats, service suffix for services, plugin suffix for plugins, selection strategies suffix for selection strategies, termination strategies suffix for termination strategies. This time we'll be using an important language feature in our implementation: dynamic instantiation and function call. This concept has many names, such as reflection, introspection, late binding, runtime binding, factory pattern, proxy class, etc. We won't delve too deeply into this concept here, but it's essential to understand that dynamic instantiation means creating objects based on their class name as a string, not the actual class. Similarly, dynamic function call involves calling functions using their names as strings instead of the actual functions. This feature is crucial for providing extensibility in our app. Without it, we'd need to modify the app every time we want to add new components. To support this, we'll implement a registry system for both languages. On the front-end side, we'll use Odoo's own registry system by creating new categories. On the back-end side, we'll create a new ORM model as our registry. This way, when we need to add new components, we can simply register them. As mentioned briefly in the previous video, this experiment uses knowledge and techniques learned from previous experiments on this channel, the streaming chat component and the node-based user interface. For the chat component, we'll extend the AI chat-based component to suit our needs for this experiment. For the node-based user interface, we'll re-implement everything using TypeScript instead of JavaScript. Now, let's dive into the code. First, we need to re-implement the node user interface in a new module called Odoo, short for Node-Based UI for Odoo, which incidentally means the way of embroidery in Japanese. We won't go into details here as the TypeScript version is similar to the JavaScript version from our previous experiment. We've tidied up some code, created new types, separated classes into their own files, and fixed minor bugs. However, we do need to implement sections by creating new classes inherited from the node component and node model. We also create new classes for the section itself, node section component and node section model. Next, we add the dynamic instantiation and function call in Odoo. We use Odoo's registry system by creating 3 new categories, one for nodes, one for edges, and one for sections. We'll also modify all codes to create these elements using registered ones instead of actual elements. Lastly, we'll modify the Node UI component to Odoo UI component to allow hosting the Odoo UI component on another module. Next, we create another module called Odoo AI to implement the app. Let's start with the front-end side. The main user interface for the app is the Chat Studio, implemented by creating a new OWL component named Odoo AI Chat Studio. This component sets up everything by hosting the Odoo UI component, sidebar component, etc. The sidebar component acts as the host for menu items, which we take from the Node UI component and rename it as Menu Item Component. For this experiment, the implementation of the sidebar is rather simple but demonstrates the key point of this app. The sidebar hosts menu item components generated from the registry. So, in addition to the registries mentioned earlier, we also add 2 new categories for menu categories and menu items. Now, let's take a look at section implementation. To implement the role function, we create a new class with a new property called role to indicate the role of the section from the node section model class. We define roles as an enum. We'll name this new class node section with role model. Then, we create OWL components to represent sections along with their models derived from the new node section with role model class. This time, we'll create 4 components. Label section component. We use this component to display read-only text or use it as a connection point between nodes. Text section component. This component is to display as a text input element for users to enter properties like names, URLs, etc. Drop-down section component. This component displays a select input element. Text dialog section component. We use this component to display a read-only text input and a button next to it that shows a dialog box with a text area when clicked. Use this component to ask users to enter long text like prompts for the AI. Next, we create nodes. Most of the work has already been done in module Odoo, so we only need to extend base classes. Let's take the node representing semantic kernel's chat completion agent as an example. We'll create an OWL component and a model for it. Although we can just use the base class, we'll create a new one for debugging and tagging purposes. The code and XML template are practically empty. If needed, we can change the node behavior and appearance here. For our case, since we only need to display basic properties and connections, we only need to set up sections in the model class for the node. We also create several more nodes to represent other semantic kernel components like group chat, OpenAI chat completion service, prompt selection strategy, prompt termination strategy, and some plugin components. Shown on your screen is the code for custom date plugin. In this case, since there's nothing that can be configured by users, we simply add one section so users can connect it to an agent node. Lastly, for the front-end side, we need to register all OWL components along with their models and related menu items. And we're basically done on the front-end side. On the back-end side, we create several new models to store and process necessary data to create actual semantic kernel components. Once these components are created, we can use them to connect users with the AI. Firstly, we create the node definition model. This model stores serialized chat design in JSON format. This is needed to restore the design if the user wants to change or update it. The model also processes raw JSON data to create a more compact and flattened format without visual-related information like position, sections, etc. Secondly, we create the Odoo AI registry model. This model stores various data related to processing raw chat definition and creating semantic kernel components. For this experiment, we define 5 registry categories: build functions, post-process functions, create functions, section roles, and variables. The build functions and post-process functions are used when processing the raw chat definition, along with section roles in this process. Please note that section roles need to be exactly the same as those used on the front-end side. The create functions and variables, along with section roles, are used to create semantic kernel components. Lastly, we add a new field to the res company model, which links it to the res config settings model. This new field indicates which chat definition to use when a user wants to chat with the AI through the streaming chat component. For more details about the streaming chat component, please visit my channel to watch the previous experiment about it. Next, we create a new controller that handles requests from the streaming chat component. The controller handles requests by instantiating a new class, chitchat, which is responsible for creating semantic kernel components. The chitchat triggers creation process using the chat definition and data from the registry model created earlier. As mentioned earlier, we're relying heavily on dynamic function call feature of the language to create actual components and related components. Shown on your screen is the function to create chat completion agent component. As you can see, the create function for chat completion agent also calls the create function for the related chat completion service by relying on the registry. Here's the reason we need a convention about section roles. It's because we need to apply each section as a parameter to create actual semantic kernel components. Similar process applies when creating other semantic kernel components. And that's it. We're done. Next, we'll create another module to demonstrate extensibility from using techniques explained earlier. The module is just a regular Odoo module, but since this time we're not adding anything beside the sales plugin for the semantic kernel and Odoo AI components, it doesn't have any models or code related to Odoo except on the plugin itself. Shown on your screen is the code for the semantic kernel plugin, which queries Odoo's sales data using the readGroup method. After creating the semantic kernel plugin, we then create functions to build, post-process, and create the plugin. We also create a data file to register these functions. For the front-end side, we create new OWL component and its model class the same way as we created a plugin before and register it. And we've finished creating a new component for Odoo AI in a separate module. Before we end this video, I'd like to mention a couple of notes. Firstly, although this experiment is not perfect, it demonstrates the possibility of giving Odoo users better user experience with AI. Secondly, as we've seen in this experiment and previous ones, it's possible to create complex apps purely with OWL and Odoo framework. Lastly, don't forget that there are inherent risks associated with AI, and providing users with direct access might amplify those risks. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it with others who might benefit from this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on all my experiments and tutorials. We'll see you in the next video.